What was the craziest scandal that happened at your school? Story 1. Leaked tape of my friend and her BF. Pretty sure it is really viral on my city and lead to expulsion to both of them. Story 2. The principal, William Williams, got into a fistfight with the swim coach, Richard Richards. Story 3. We had a fake student enrolled at our school who had created this elaborate backstory of being a foreign student. It was later proven he was a grown adult and a wanted criminal. Story 4. Our elementary computer lab teacher was arrested for embezzling funds out of fundraisers that the kids participated in. One of the fundraisers was just your typical, "Hey, we're raising money for your school, sell enough and you get a party bus and pizza." It wouldn't be that infuriating if it stopped there. There was a girl in my grade who was diagnosed with brain cancer and leukemia at a young age, battled her whole life. During elementary school, we raised funds to take care of her treatments. The computer teacher was best friends with her. In fact, she was the only person the computer teacher remotely liked. And guess what? Computer teacher stole money from her fundraiser too. Story 5. A student took home a school MacBook for a video editing project where he found a tape of the art teacher and another dude some. The teacher realized the laptop was gone and came clean to the principal so they could try to get the laptop back before the kids saw it and told everyone. Needless to say, it was too late. The teacher went off on leave and the principal tried to cover it up for him, but the kid already told everyone. Once word got out, everyone scoured the remaining MacBooks for copies on the iCloud or anything so they could see. They didn't find it, but they did find a bunch of others. The teacher got fired and tried to sue the school district for wrongful termination. It went as expected. Friends, before we continue our video, I want to remind you of the importance of subscribing to our channel. We are also waiting for your comments and likes. Thank you. Let's move on to the video. Story 6. Stepbrother and stepsister were each other. Also, we had a Japanese exchange student stay with a friend's family, and my friend tried relentlessly to sleep with her, but she was not interested in the slightest. He eventually gave up. She finished the semester and went back home. Couple months later, it was revealed that she had with his younger sister. Story 7. A football player made up a lie about the new young female teacher having with him. She was suspended for a month while an investigation occurred. He kept telling administrators and students that he had lied and he was sorry. She eventually came back and he was sent to the alternative school for it. Story 8. Someone put N-word. We don't want your Black History signs on the Black students' lockers during Black History Month. Chaos ensued. Lots of finger-pointing, tension, anger, and accusations. Never found the culprit. Come 1 year later, same thing happens again. Absolute show. Administration is all over it. Bring in the FBI and fingerprint everyone who was at home sick, off campus, or otherwise in the hall during that period. Come to find out it was a Black student who was doing it herself to try and get her parents to let her transfer. It was a predominantly white private school, so local media was all over it. Heaven knows what it would have looked like in modern social media times. Tucker would have been streaming from our football field, and The View would have had a round table in the cafeteria. Story 9. The easy girl in HS slept with the assistant principal during a prom lockdown in his office. He got fired and went to jail. Lockdowns were banned after that. A girl gave head under the lunch table for a few dollars and pack of cigarettes. Story 10. A journalist enrolled as a transfer student with forged paperwork in order to attend school undercover so she could write an article about high school kids as an insider. We all thought she was a narc, but the fact that an adult successfully infiltrated a school like that ruffled a lot of feathers. Story 11. I had such a boring school. Worst thing I can think of was the guy who cemented an old kid's swing set on the grounds. I'm talking digging holes, putting it in the ground, and then pouring in quickset, and the school threatened to not let him graduate unless he got rid of it. Story 12. A guy in high school got severely f***ed on a variety of while at school, ended up puking on a couple of students during class, then passed out. Paramedics were called. He was out of school for a few, then came back. The thing about it is his only punishment was a 3-day suspension, which took place while he was recovering. His parents were very rich, and his mom headed up the school board. So yeah, go figure. That same year, there was a senior who got expelled for being drunk. The only reason he got caught is because he smelled like alcohol. Mind you, this guy had no prior history of being a troublemaker. The double standard pissed off students and parents alike, but nothing was done about it. Story 13. 2. Bomb threats. In a week, I believe, Part A was actually dealt with, and we had to evacuate. The guy who wears a fedora said some joke along the lines of, "You don't know where I hid the bombs." There were no bombs. Part B, someone tweeted something like, "I'm about to blow up the school." He got suspended, but we didn't have a threat. Personally, I think he was about to take a big and blow up the toilet. But that's just me. Story 14. My good friend started sleeping with her married basketball coach. They graduated her a year early. He stopped coaching, got divorced, and now they have been together for like 15 years. Classic cover-up by a bunch of bureaucratic who don't want any bad press for their highly regarded school. Still pisses me off to this day. Story 15. Not really a scandal per se, but I'll never forget this. When I was a freshman in high school in the late 80s, we had a payphone in our cafeteria. Now remember, at that time, we didn't have any sort of caller ID or anything. A sophomore thought it would be funny to call the White House and threaten to kill President Reagan. 2 periods later, about 90 minutes, the FBI, might have been Secret Service, was at my school arresting him. I'm not sure how they figured out who called and from where, but they definitely did not find the humor in his joke. Story 16. Looking back, how many of my high school staff were wildly inappropriate is actually kind of amazing. There's the football coach who was totally not with a senior girl, then the school investigating and determining he did nothing wrong. Then, after she graduated, they got married. My 5th grade teacher got rolled up in a investigation. This one was definitely the worst scandal. 2 of the teachers in the same hall were banging, and each was married to someone else at the time. He would play Tim McGraw songs loud enough that she could hear in her room, and she would play Faith Hill songs back. They tried to play it off like that wasn't obvious. Also married to each other. Oh, and the English teacher who kept wearing thongs to school, and for some reason always found an excuse to bend over. The oldest kid in that class was 16. Yikes, bunch of thirst. And here I was, not getting past second base until age 20 LOL. This is a good note to end on. Please write your stories in the comments. I'll be happy to add them to future videos. Also, you can rate our other videos. We would be very grateful. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.